There are stone structures on this planet that shouldn't exist. Buildings so massive, so perfectly engineered, that modern technology can't replicate them. And they were all built before a flood that erased an entire civilization from history. Right now, scattered across every continent on Earth, there are megalithic ruins that archaeologists can't explain. Stones weighing hundreds of tons, fitted together so precisely that you can't slide a piece of paper between them. No mortar, no modern tools, and according to every geological marker we can find, they were built before the last ice age ended, before a massive flood reshaped the entire world. Someone was here before us, someone with knowledge we've lost, and the evidence is literally carved in stone. Here's the problem that keeps archaeologists up at night. We're told that human civilization started around 12,000 years ago, that before that we were just hunters and gatherers, living in caves, barely surviving. But then how do you explain Göbekli Tepe in Turkey? Stone pillars arranged in perfect circles, each one weighing up to 20 tons, decorated with intricate carvings of animals. It was built 11,600 years ago. That's 6,000 years before Stonehenge. 6,000 years before the invention of writing, agriculture, or the wheel. Think about that for a second. Whoever built Göbekli Tepe did it before humans were supposed to know how to farm. They organized massive construction projects without any of the social structures we assume you need for that kind of work. No cities, no written language to coordinate plans, no metal tools to carve the stone. And yet, there it stands. In Egypt, we have the Great Pyramid of Giza. Official history says it was built around 4,500 years ago by Pharaoh Khufu. But there's a massive problem with that timeline. The pyramid contains approximately 2,300,000 stone blocks. Each block weighs between 2 and 70 tons. If the pyramid really was built in Khufu's 20-year reign, workers would have had to cut, transport, and perfectly place one block every 2 minutes, every single day, for 20 years straight. Does that sound realistic to you? The erosion patterns on the Sphinx suggest water damage, not wind erosion. Water, the kind of rainfall Egypt hasn't seen in over 10,000 years. Robert Schoch, a geologist from Boston University, examined the Sphinx enclosure and concluded the erosion could only have been caused by prolonged exposure to heavy rain. But Egypt became a desert around 5000 BC. That means the Sphinx would have to be at least 7,000 years older than we're told. Now let's travel to South America, to Puma Punku in Bolivia. This site contains some of the most precisely cut stone blocks ever discovered. We're talking about diorite and granite blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, cut with right angles so perfect they look machine-made. There are H-blocks with grooves carved at exactly 90 degrees, interlocking stones that fit together like puzzle pieces. And diorite is one of the hardest stones on Earth. You can't carve it with copper chisels. You need diamond-tipped tools or high-speed machinery. The local legend says Puma Punku wasn't built by humans at all. The Aymara people have stories that say the city was built in a single night by the gods after a great flood destroyed the previous world. A flood. That word keeps coming up. In Peru there's Sacsayhuamán, a fortress overlooking Cusco. The walls there are made of stones so large that Spanish conquistadors thought they were natural formations. Some of these stones weigh over 200 tons. They're fitted together with impossible precision. No mortar. The stones are different shapes, irregular polygons fitted together like a three-dimensional puzzle. Modern engineers have tried to replicate this technique and failed. The Inca people said they didn't build those walls. They said the structures were already ancient when their ancestors found them. They said they were built by a race of giants who lived before the flood. Nearly every ancient culture on Earth has a flood story, The Mesopotamians had the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Greeks had Deucalion's flood. Hindu texts describe a great deluge. Native American tribes have flood legends. Australian Aboriginal stories talk about the ocean rising and swallowing the land. Chinese legends, Aztec mythology, all of them describe the same event, a catastrophic flood that destroyed the world. You don't get that kind of consistency across completely isolated cultures by accident. These aren't stories that spread through trade. These are memories, cultural memories of something that actually happened. And geology backs this up. At the end of the last ice age, approximately 11,600 years ago, the Younger Dryas period ended suddenly. Global temperatures spiked. Ice sheets melted catastrophically fast. Sea levels rose 400 feet. Coastlines that had been inhabited for thousands of years were submerged. If there was an advanced civilization before the flood, we wouldn't find it by digging in the desert. We'd find it on the ocean floor. And we are finding it. Off the coast of India, in the Gulf of Cambay, sonar has detected structures 30 meters below the surface. Geometric patterns, straight lines, right angles. Artifacts recovered from the site have been carbon dated to over 9,000 years old. Near Yonaguni in Japan, there's a submerged structure that looks like a stepped pyramid. Off the coast of Cuba, sonar has detected what appears to be pyramid structures and roads at a depth of 2,000 feet. So here's where we are. Across the planet, there are stone structures that predate known civilization. They show engineering precision that we struggle to match today. They're aligned to astronomical events with mathematical accuracy. And they all seem to have been built before a catastrophic flood that matches both geological records and global mythology. The mainstream explanation is that primitive humans with stone tools somehow accomplished all of this through sheer labor. That explanation requires you to believe in coincidences stacked on coincidences. Or you can consider the alternative, that there was a civilization before ours. One that understood things about physics and reality that we're only beginning to rediscover. A civilization that built monuments designed to survive catastrophe. A civilization that was wiped out when the Ice Age ended and the waters rose. The survivors scattered. They carried their stories with them. Stories of gods who came before. Of giants who built in stone. Of a great flood that destroyed the old world. We're not the first. Civilization might be much older than we think, rising and falling in cycles we're only now beginning to recognize. And if it happened before, can it happen again? These stones are messages, warnings, proof that we've been here before. If this made you question everything, watch the next video.